Welcome back to Delra Models. So in this video it's all about forks, as you can probably see. So I've cut off all of the kit parts to start with, but I thought I'd show you a comparison with the aftermarket set as well. So on the backing paper, as you can see, that's all the extras that you get. So you've got a load of detail bits up there, rings and circles and such, which will replace these. And then on there you've got these attachment points that would have wires coming out of them. Then you've got the bottom of the forks there, which obviously replace these ones. So as mouldings go, they're pretty much the same on that part. The difference in the kit and the detail set is these brass parts and the anodized parts. So you've got those, and it saves you painting. If I get those out as well, and I'll just take one off just to show you. So the way this would build up, I've obviously got some washers that go over this as well. So that would go on like that. And then that just saves you having to mask and paint all of that fork. So to get a nice finish, it looks a lot better being brass and anodized gold rather than paint plastic. So that's what the biggest difference is that you get in the detail fork set. Like I said, a couple of other bits and pieces go on the top as well, which I will show you down the line when I get to it. So I'm going to go off and get all these parts prepped and ready. As you can see, I've not taken the attachment points down or anything like that. So I'll get all that sorted and then I'll come back in a bit. Okay, so that's all the parts prepped. So I've just been going through them all, drilling out any holes that I've got attachments going into. I've made up my braided lines for the front with the banjo fittings. Attached that together, those two pieces, and cleaned those up. So I'm ready for primer. So I'll go off, shoot the primer, get all of that done, it's ready for the next stage, and then I'll come back and show you all that done. Okay, I've got all the parts primered up now. So to start off with, I'm going to use the Zero Paints aluminium and just paint a few little bits on these pieces. So I'll start off with the handlebar, so I'll just turn the fan on. So I've got it already loaded up in the airbrush, so just check the flow. So later I'm just going to do the bar ends. So just take it easy, give it a nice coat. Not that it's showing up on camera very well. So that's the first one done. And then on the calipers, it's just these circular bits I'm doing. Just there. So I'll mask those up and then do the next bit. So I'll go do the other two off camera and then I'll move on to the next bit. Okay, so while that's drying, I'm moving on to the next bit. So one thing that I'll do when I'm painting lots of little parts like this that need masking is I'll go through and I'll plan the order that I'm going to paint things, so I've got time for the paint to dry before I mask it off and do the next bit. So while they're drying off before I mask them up, I'm going to move on to the brake discs, which are the same as the rear ones. I've given it a groove and a bit of a key around it, so just mount that back on my stick. So I'll just turn the fan back on. So for this I'm using Zero Paint Steel, which again loaded up in the airbrush ready. So just check my flow. So just going to go around same front side. So that's the first one done. So next one to go, and then I'll move on to the next colour. Okay, after doing that bit, just off camera quickly, I just painted these two parts up, and I just used the titanium silver for that. So next bit to paint is the bottom of the forks, which for that I'm using the metallic grey. So I'm just going to fly through all these little bits quickly. As always, just make sure that you've covered it properly, you've not missed any areas. There's nothing worse than coming back after you've painted everything and finding that you've missed a bit. So, always go at different angles to make sure you've got a good even coverage all around. So that's that next one done. So again, now I'm onto the point of doing some masking, so I'll go mask some bits up and then come back. Okay, moving on, I'm now going to do the calipers. So as you can see here, I've masked off the centre parts that I painted aluminium, ready to paint the next colour. So for this I'm going to use titanium gold. So the instructions call for titanium silver, but I just want to mix it up a little bit. So that's what I'm going to use. So knock the fan on. Just going to go over it lightly. So that's all I need. So that's what calipers I'm going to go for. So get the other one done and then on to the next bit. Okay, for the next bit I'm using Zero Paints Gloss Black, and I'm just going to do a few bits on the handlebars. So knock the fan back on. So airbrush loaded up, ready to go. So once these are painted up, when the paint's dried, I'll mask them off, ready for the next bit. So for smaller parts, these are going to need quite a bit of masking and different colours putting on, so I'll keep working through them. Like I said, they'll sit there to dry now and then move on to the next bit. Alright, so next bit to do is the grips on the handlebars. So for these I wanted something more grey than black, so I've mixed up some of Zero's rubber black and their racing white, so mostly black with a little bit of white in there just to give me a grey. So if I turn the fan on, so that's sort of what I'm looking at the moment. So that's the colour that it's coming out at, and once I've given that a wash, that'll darken up a bit. So I want it to resemble more some of the racing grips that you see more than the standard ones. So at the moment that's a little bit too light, but like I said, I'll put a wash on it and that'll bring it out. So once that's dry, I'll get those masked up and then on to the next bit. So nearly there with these. Okay, next piece of the puzzle is I just want to paint the ends of this handlebar with the metallic grey. So let's get this one done quickly. So yeah, there's a lot of masking out required on these handlebars for such small parts. So that's that end bit done. So I'll go mask that off when it's dry, ready for the next bit. Okay, last few bits to paint now. So for these, I'm using semi-gloss black. So I've got the centre of the brakes to do, a sensor for the ABS, top of the reservoir, top of the forks assembly, and then the last couple of pieces on these. So I'll just turn the fan on. So airbrush ready, loaded up. So yeah, it's going to be fun unmasking all of this lot. Sure I've got it all. So just do one of these as well. So as you can see, that's all masked up, and try to get inside of the rotors as well. So I've got a nice mask line. Just go over that one again because I missed a bit. So that's that one. So like I said, just a few more bits to finish off and then back to the normal bench. Okay, so here's all the bits after I've painted them. As you can see, I've started unmasking some of them. So I just thought I'd show you as I'm unmasking a couple of the pieces, just to give you an idea as how I've approached doing the masking to start with. So on the rear section of these of the discs, I've just folded over these small strips of tape. Just folded over from this side. So they should all peel off. So if I go around that side first, lift them away that side.
Is this finished?
So that's the first half done. So then for the second half of it, so same again, I've folded it over, so I'm just going to run that round there, just just to make it easier to remove on the other side. A little bit extra tape there that I put on just to fill a gap. So, and then on this side I just used some thicker tape. So what we should see is a nice break between the colours. So obviously I've got to do the centre parts of the rivets. So the second bit that I was going to unmask was this, because it was quite complicated masking it up. So it'll be interesting to watch it get unmasked, because there's loads of layers to it. So obviously quite time consuming putting it all together, but really rewarding at this point, being able to unmask it and see how everything's coloured and bring it all to life, as they say. So lots of little bits of masking tape, as you can see. A lot of fiddly work. Very careful with this, these tweezers. I don't want to scratch the painted surface. So, nearly there with the brake lever. There we go. Next bit to come off. I had a photo piece stuck on there which has come off. That's what that mark's from. So that's obviously come off as I've unmasked it, so I need to go and find that. So a little bit of tidying up work to do on there, but there's the right hand side one with the brake lever, and that's the left hand side with the clutch. So you can see on there that little tab that I'll put on with the photo out, so I need to go and find that. So I need to paint up the switches on it. I've decided to use that one with the grey that I did for the handlebar for the grip, so just mask that one off. Obviously got a couple more that I've got to paint, so I'll go off do those. The other thing I did when I painted this was I turned the pressure right down to give it a sort of crackled look, because looking at my reference photos, that's how they are on the real ones. So so that's what I did with that. So I'll go off, finish those little bits off and do that detail painting. So one last thing was I was going to have a look at these as well. I can get under this. This was liquid mask I used for these. Very carefully try and peel that off. So that's the first one. Again, I just need to peel it off a bit more, but you can see the difference there in the colour. So yeah, I'll go off, finish these little bits and pieces off, and come back in a minute. Okay, so here's the bits pretty much ready to be assembled now. So I've started doing a little bit of it. So I've done this front fork assembly. So I put a little photo etch hex nut on the end of there, obviously attached to braided line and such. So I'll start going through showing you how it all goes together. So to start with, you have this little poly cap that fits on the end of there, and you have, if it doesn't run away, this little brass bit of tube that sits down there. You've got this black piece, which is the seal, and then the actual fork stanchion itself. So that's how that bit goes together. So what I'm going to do is just get some cement and just put a little bit on each of those, just to attach this to it. So you've got two holes on the back of there. So it just sits like that. So I just put that down to the side for a minute. So the next little bit that I'm going to do is I have this air valve, side valve. So I'm just going to dip it in a little bit of super glue. Just the very tip I'll put in super glue, and then I have a hole here that's already drilled out, ready for that to fit into, if I don't drop it. So yeah, lots of fiddly little work. So once that's in place, then and the glue's dried, I'll paint that valve cap up. So I've done quite a bit off camera since I last saw you. So on this piece here, I've put some photo etch washers on the end there, and I've attempted, although I don't know how realistic it looks, to do adjustable levers. So that's what that photo etch tab is there, and if it picks it up, I've also got a bolt head in the end of there, same on both sides. So that was drilled out, and then the same on this side, photo etch pieces on the tops, some aftermarket bolts there. I've got the banjo fitting and the braided line on that one, so that piece is ready to go. And then on here again, a few photo etch pieces, a couple of bolts, a little key, a photo etch key that I've got. So I've just been going around just detailing all the parts up basically, so so that it'd be ready for this stage. So I'll go off, I'll get that valve cap painted before I attach the caps. So the other bit that I'll show you quickly is the tops of the forks. So it's built up in multiple parts. So I need some super glue for this because it's obviously metal pieces. So I'm just going to put a bead just around there, and you have this sort of gold coloured one sits on there, and then another bead over the top of that. Being very careful with this because I don't want it going everywhere. got this metal piece, this ring that goes over it. So you just need to check the direction that that goes in, because it's obviously got those what look like bolt heads in the top of that. So you want to get that the right way around. And then what you have in the centre is these parts of the sensors for the adjustable suspension. So I've got a little pin that goes in the end of that on this wire, which I just need to reattach. So I've actually drilled the ends of these out to take these wires. So as you can see, you've got a pin in the end of it on that end to fit into that place. So again, I'll let that dry before moving on to the next part. So I'll go and get those other bits done, and then I'll come back on the next section. So I just got the wires and everything attached into there, and all around underneath. So I just put that to the side for a minute. So I've also gone off and painted that valve cap, and to go along with the theme of the bike as I'm running it, I've gone for a sort of anodised blue look, so I just used some clear blue over that. So just manoeuvre the tyre over the rim. Where I want it. And let's check both sides. So the first thing I'm going to attach is the ABS sensor. So you've got a few mounting points down here. And then you've got one that's got a notch on it for lining it up. So just get that where it needs to be. So that's the sensor done, and then I can move on to the discs. And again, you've just got these location points for the brake disc. And they're the same both sides, so you don't need to worry about which one's which. Just need to concentrate on getting them actually in the right position. I'll just do the other side quickly. So obviously the wheel is rotational, as is the tyre, because the ABS sensor end goes on one side, so see that you've got an arrow on the tyre there, so you need to match that out with the right side so it fits that way on the actual bike, which is facing that way. Right, so now that I've got that done, I can feed it through the forks. So before I do that, I'm just going to attach this piece. I've got that piece there to go. Just run some glue over that. Make sure that it's the right way around on the right side. So that notch there wants to go to the back, so it wants to go that way around. And then you've got this cap that fits on this side. So again, I'll just run some glue over there. And just fit that. And I was debating adding some photo etch bolt heads on the end of there as well, but I don't think this part's visible from what I've seen once it's all assembled, so there was little point. So I'll let that dry, I'll go off and do the other one, and then we'll move on to fitting the wheel. Okay, so next little bit to do. So I've just run this black wire down here, just for the ABS obviously attach those braided lines. So the next bit to do is to attach the forks. So they go in from the back, from the front like that, and then there's a couple of mounting points either side that attach there. So you can just see down there where they go. So what you can do is very carefully move these in, just so you can actually see where they line up, and then you can turn them back out again once it's in place. So that's where they want to go. So I'm just going to get into the drawer my Tamiya extra thin cement, and just very carefully just touch into those joints. Which should be enough to hold that piece. It's not gonna move or go anywhere. So next bit is just as tricky. Is I need to get that wheel through those calipers. So I need to twist those out a little bit to get the tie to fit over there. Which I think I'm supposed to do before I actually attach the calipers. So no mistake on that, because it makes the job a lot harder. And as you can see, the mud guard's come off because I've done it wrong. So forgive me for being stupid on this one. I might need to take those calipers back off. Okay, so that's a tip for you. Follow the instructions and in the order that it's saying, don't deviate from it because it causes problems. So as you can see, I've managed to get that in now. So instead of the screw, I'm using this bit of aluminium tube. So I've obviously cut it to length. So I'm just checking that it fits where I want it to. So I just push it in carefully with a cocktail stick. So that fits nicely in there. So what I'm going to do is just push it out and just put a bit of glue on the end of that. I'm just going to put a little bit of super glue just on the inside of that point, just so it's got something to go against. So there we go. So that's the axle in place, and what I've also got to go over that is this little hex nut. So I'll do that in a bit. So there's the front fork assembly coming together now. So next bit to do is the actual handlebars at the top. So I'll put that to one side and I'll make up this assembly. So the first thing I've done, I will do, is put a bit of glue. I'll do it on the other piece because it's easier to get at on this reservoir. And it's directional, there's a notch in it, so just make sure you get it the right way round. So that wire wants to go that way. So that's going to sit there like that. You'll possibly also notice, if you're building this kit, is that I've moved the location of that hose. The instructions say to put it at the top, or the tab on the part is at the top, but on the real bike it would be at the bottom, so I've moved that. So that's where that piece is going to go. So next bit I'm going to do is the bits that the handlebar's attached to. So they're going to go under there. So same glue again, just a little bit underneath. And what you've got on here is that little pin there, and there's a hole underneath that fits into, so that locates it. So you shouldn't get them in the wrong position. It is possible though to get them in the wrong sides, so just pay attention that they're going on the right side. So that's that bit done, and then I want the handlebars to go on. So that one goes on there like that, and that one goes on there like that. But obviously I'm not going to attach those yet because I want the glue to dry properly, which is why I didn't put any glue on them to start with. I was just showing you. So put that back on, let that glue dry. Same on that one, take that off, let that glue dry. And then I'll fit the handlebars. I've got that wire there, is going to attach into this point here, which again I've cut the notch off there so that I can use the smaller wire. So I'll come back once they're all glued on and I'm ready to actually attach it to the frame. Okay, so final little bit to do now, so which is mounting onto the jig. So I'll just move those out of the way for a second. And for this I am going to use the screw as well for fitting this, so as it's got a cap on it that won't be seen. So first thing I'm going to do is drop this wire out of the way. And then I'll slide this part of the jig off. Then put this one on. Bolt out the front of the other one, then I can line it up. So this fits with that centre point in there, like that. So if I bring the jig this point forward, it should be lined up for the pin to go through. There we go. Just tighten those down. So that's it on the jig. So then I want this piece to fit in there. So I'm not going to worry about where those wires go for the minute. So there's 3 attachment points on this. We've got the centre one, and then those other 2. So I'm just going to use those other 2 as locator points. I'm not going to put any glue or anything on them. So that'll go down like that. And then I'll get my screw, put that down the middle to hold it all together. Like that. So that's all I need. So all I've got to do now is attach the hoses and the wires. So I just need to work out how I'm going to run those, so I'll go off and do those off camera because I don't think you need to see them. But basically these 2 go to attachment points under there, if you saw that, those 2 there, and then this one here, which is the one for the clutch, comes over here. So I'll go figure out how to run those. So the only other bit to do is that centre bolt which goes in there, like that. So give me 2 minutes to go and run those cables and work out how to route them, and then I'll finish off. Okay, so that's it for this video then. So as I said, I'll just go and finish off running those few wires. So the ones for the throttle come around there, underneath here, and then I've got the clutch one coming over there. So, and then obviously that braided line comes up and meets the others under there. So the instructions do show you, if I just show you quickly, to show you how to run those wires, but it's a bit sort of fiddly working out, so that's why I just went off and did that off camera. So there you go, that's the front fork assembly. So I'm happy with how that's turned out. It looks okay. So on the calipers, I don't think I mentioned that when I painted them, I said I was doing the titanium gold. I wasn't overly happy with that. It was a little bit too gold. But obviously the exhaust at the back is titanium silver, which is a bit too silver. So after I sprayed the gold, I just went over those again with the titanium silver just to dull gold coat down a bit. So other than that, everything's as I showed you. So the last bit that I'm going to do, once everything's sort of settled down, is I've got some little bolts that I'm going to put through there. So I've already drilled the holes in the mudguard ready for those, but not through to the mounting point on the other side because it's a little bit too long for just to stop there. So I'll either cut them short and just fit them as they are, or I'll drill through. I haven't decided yet, so I'll do those before I get the photos put up. So obviously, as I said in the last video, that's the airbox. Nothing special about that, just painted semi-gloss black, and it's not glued in or anything. So you've got 2 mounting points under there that just fit in on top of there. So that's why that's rattling around, because it's not actually attached. So so yeah, there you go. That's it. So if you look at it from the business end, as they say, so we've got that key there. There is actually a decal around that comes in the kit as well. So that just brings it out a little bit. So yeah, there you go. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time, which will be all of the body panels and fairings. So, and I'll incorporate lights in that as well. So yeah, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.